a better snap than that. Hold on. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I'm Liberty and I'm your local theater kid. If you like hearing an ADHD girly yap about musical theater, you should subscribe because you're gonna like it here. We're back with the series that I think I called Theater Kid Stories with Liberty, or Theater Stories with Libs. That's the one, Theater Stories with Libs. We're back and today we are talking about the Addams Family. Show I did my junior year of high school, in which I played Wednesday Addams, if you can't tell by the braids, or the thumbnail of this video, probably. And today, I'm not only going to be telling you fun stories of when I did the Addams Family, I'm also going to be doing my makeup as Wednesday, like I did during the show, and recreating this photo of my stage makeup. As you can see, I'm all decked out today in my Addams Family show shirt, and I've even got my Key Players merch on. Quick life update before I get started. This comes out Friday, next day. So I guess when you're seeing this, tomorrow I start rehearsals for Grease. I'm so excited. I started rehearsals for Oliver last Saturday, and yeah, it's just gonna be such a blast, you guys. Keep the nails. I've got these, they're like the stick-on checkerboard nails. I got one kind of giving Grease lightning vibes. Alright, jacket's coming off. Side note, if I seem kind of low energy right now, that's because I had to refilm this video because there was a story I really wanted to tell, and I just decided I needed to redo it. So, let's get started. So, we're gonna get started with skin prep. Nothing is sponsored. These are just the products that I use. Most of them are drugstore. I start with primer. This is e.l.f. Power Grip. I love it. So, let's talk about the Addams Family. But first I have to do this. On. You all probably know the Addams Family musical, and if you don't, you definitely know some of the music. You probably at least know Wednesday's song, Pulled, if you are a theater kid, because it has become a very popular song. It's just all over the place. And of course, I played Wednesday, so I am all too familiar with that song. Wednesday was a super fun role to play, but I definitely learned throughout the process, and especially the aftermath, and going into my senior year playing Cosette in Les Mis, that I am less so of a mezzo belter and more of a mixer, ingenue, princessy, soprano type. That's not to say that I was a bad pick for Wednesday or that I did a bad job. I'm very proud of the job that I did. All that said, I'm incredibly grateful that I got to play this role. It was super fun. I know lots of people wanted the part. I am very, very grateful I got to do it. Important to note is the time that I did this show was spring of 2023, which was mere months after the Wednesday TV show premiered the first season with Jenna Ortega. And we all remember how big that was. The Wednesday dance was everywhere. Everyone was listening to Bloody Mary by Lady Gaga. It was culture at the time. So, not only did we have huge crowds for our shows, and I did the Wednesday dance and a bit of the choreography at the beginning of the show, put a clip in.
We shall be as besotted with each other as a salesman.
How we laugh.
We also had a costume contest where a bunch of mainly little girls would come and wear the TV show costumes, and we had a contest and they would get to take a picture with me during intermission. I kind of felt like a Disney princess, just, you know, with much more eyeliner and, you know, much more morbid. Normally my daily makeup I would put on color corrector for my under eyes because I've got bad dark circles, but we're actually going to put some concealer on there and then redraw dark circles under my eyes because Wednesday is kind of spooky. Probably doesn't sleep well because she's nocturnal or something, I don't know. Honestly, Addams Family lore confuses me because it's constantly changing from every version of it, but that's okay, because Addams Family the musical is just fun. Before I get into the real reason you all are here, which is the mishaps, let's talk a little bit about the singing. So, like I said, Pulled was a really, really hard song to do. But there was a specific part of the show, or stretch of the show, including Pulled, where it was just non-stop for the Wednesday track. So you sing Pulled, and you're running around, belting your face off. You run off stage, you take a sip of water and a deep breath, you run back on stage, do a big scene with everybody, and then come back on stage, or while you're on stage, after that scene, you have another big number where you're belting your face off again for a solid 2 verses. Very chaotic, very difficult. Once I got through that stretch of the show, the hard part was over until Act 2, in which case I had a very emotional moment with Gomez, in which I cried. You know the song Happy Sad. Ooh. Sorry, I hit my mic. But then I had to sing Crazier Than You, which was also very, very difficult to sing. So, let's talk about what you're actually here for. And that, of course, is the fails. So, let's stick on the topic of Crazier Than You and talk about the little bit that my friend Wyatt, who plays Lucas, and I would do every night. And that is that I would call him a different name. So, after Lucas proves his love to Wednesday by letting her shoot an apple off his head, he tries to prank her and scream and make her think that she actually shot him, and then he's like, haha, gotcha. And then he says, now will you marry me? And she responds, oh yes, Lewis, 1,000 times yes. And then he goes, Lewis? Who the hell is Lewis? And she goes, haha, gotcha. And then they run off, and it's cute and funny, and they've reunited. But Wyatt and I had a fun idea. I can't remember who came up with it. I think it happened because I may have accidentally said Lewis instead of Lewis. I think oh my gosh, the who the hell wasn't even in there. Wyatt came up with that, which was so funny. Yeah, because his line is, it's Lucas. Lucas. We just changed it for fun. Don't tell Concord Theatricals. The bit that we would do is I would come up with a different name to call him every night. And there was one night where I was going to call him the first name of our choir teacher / pit director. I was going to call him for his first name. Let's say his first name's Jimmy. It's not, but let's just say it is. So I was going to say Jimmy, but as I was thinking about what I was going to say, I completely blanked, and I'm just staring there at him. And my line is what prompts us going off stage. And so I'm just staring there, looking at him. And he goes, come on. And we grab our stuff and exit the scene. And we get off stage, and we're dying, and I felt so bad. I was like, dude, I just froze. I'm sorry. He thought it was funny. We had a lot of really good improv moments in this show. This isn't a big thing in all productions, but in our production, a big plot point, or at least a big piece of direction we were given, is that the Beinecke's, aka the normal family, Wednesday's boyfriends, and his family don't see the ancestors, the Addams, ghosts, until the very end, when love conquers all, and one of our ancestors was Elvis. There was one night where that scene happens, and they turn and they see them, and then same guy, Wyatt, as Lucas, turns and sees the person playing Elvis and goes, is that Elvis? And I'm like, it happened several times, so eventually we all leaned into it, and I, as Wednesday, go, yes, honey, that's Elvis. In a very, yeah, duh, kind of way. And then my favorite thing that happened was the guy who played Gomez said, we are related to the king, yes. It was just bits like that. So fun in that show. And made it so special. Also, one thing that Gomez did that was really funny was there was a show, I think it was the closing show, there's a scene where he's with the other dad, and he's showing him his torture chair that has a spike, if you stomp on the pedal, a spike will pop out of the seat of the chair. And I guess he stomped too hard, because the spike, it was just a wooden dowel, and it went flying out of the chair. And the audience is losing it, and I'm backstage and I don't know what's happening, and then I just hear, there are plenty more where that came from. Which was just a great save. Some of my favorite moments in that show were when I just got to riff with people and just be in character on stage but not be saying anything. So so much fun. We had a lot of crazy things happen during rehearsals as well. There's specifically one line flub that was really, really funny that happened at the very end of the show, one rehearsal. My dear, dear friend Tatum, who I hope you guys will get to meet soon because she's doing Grease with me. We're playing we're playing Frenchie. We're playing Pink Ladies together. She's playing Marty and I'm playing Frenchie. We've been friends for years, but she was playing Morticia and I was playing Wednesday, as we've established. And as my mother, I asked her for her blessing to marry this boy. And she has a line where she's supposed to say, yes, and it's like this big, oh, Morticia's finally come around on them. And then she says, may you have many children and may they give you as much grief as you have given us. But, on rehearsal, Tatum looked at me lovingly in the eyes in a very maternal way and goes, yes, may you have my children. And then realized what she says, and it was so funny. Alright, I'm gonna take this little tiny brush, and I'm gonna put some of that same eyeshadow I've been using, and just, I'm gonna really start sculpting these dark circles under my eyes. Oh yeah, that looks so good. Oh my gosh. I'm so glad I refilmed this because it did not look this good when I did it the other day. Alright, what do we think? Do I look very dead? I still need to do contour. I'm going to do that next. What I'm going to do is I'm going to suck in my cheekbones, and then I'm going to really hollow them out and do like a kind of curved shape, just using that same eyeshadow color. That's not too bad. And then I'm going to blend it out in just a second. Now I look super creepy again. I'm going to do a little bit of blush because we all know, even though we want to look nice and dead, stage makeup requires blush. However crazy I look in camera right now, I can promise you, I look crazier in real life. But that's commitment, baby. Now it's time for eyeliner. This is going to make a huge difference. I'm just going to line the top and bottom. Excuse me while I do this in the mirror. Like, already look at the difference I made. I'm gonna throw some mascara on real quick, which I'm gonna go grab because it's in my work bag. Of course it was in the first pocket I checked. Okay, back to the stories while I do my mascara. Because I'm a freak who can do her mascara while talking. Maybe I lied. Okay, I did lie, but mascara is done now. So, as I have mentioned, I am a ginger. And there was a performance of the show that we did that was a sensory-friendly performance, what we called them, where we would do them for kids in the special education program at our school, as well as other schools in the county. They were some of my favorite shows. Basically, we toned down any like loud noises, we toned down any like sensitive lighting, stuff like that, to make it a more accessible show and more friendly to everybody and everybody's needs. Now, as I mentioned, I'm a ginger. And after this show, which was a field trip, and for this one in particular, there were a bunch of elementary schools that came, and I'm in the dressing room taking off my wig is off, I'm taking out my pin curls, and my hair is basically done, but my face and my costume is still on. And our director, Miss Gore, comes in and says, Liberty, there are a bunch of kids out here who want to meet you. And I look at her and I say, is this okay? Like, my hair isn't done. They're gonna know that the magic's gonna be ruined, you know? And she goes, oh, it's fine, they just want to meet you. And so, you know, if you've ever taken out pin curls, by the way, you know they look ratchet. And I've got curly hair, so they especially look ratchet. And I step on stage, and the minute I get there, this kid clocks me, points at me, and goes, Wednesday's a ginger! Like, screams it, and I'm dying laughing. And I met these kids, and they were really sweet, and it was great. But I was laughing so hard at this kid who was appalled to know that Wednesday was actually a ginger, that it was a wig. He was shocked. He couldn't believe it. It was so funny. Oh my gosh. That's probably one of my favorite stories from doing this show, period, is that some little kid couldn't believe that Wednesday could be played by a ginger. Honestly, bud, I'm surprised too. Although, how are we feeling about Ginger Wednesday? Because I don't hate it. Obviously, not accurate, but I don't hate it. Also, on the ginger note is that one of the guys in the pit, who I later became friends with, I was walking around with my wig prep on without my wig one day, and he just goes, "Liberty, you're a ginger?" Meanwhile, this is like tech week, and I'm like, "Yeah, dude, I am." He's like, "I had no idea." Meanwhile, we've been in rehearsals where my hair has been in braids like this, or just normal. And yet this guy had no idea. I guess he had just never stopped to notice I was a redhead. And I find that very funny. I'm going to put on my lipstick, and then we'll do a final reveal and a final story, and we'll wrap things up. Okay, that's good enough. So yeah, this is the final Wednesday look. I know it's a little crazy, but you just gotta imagine the vision. Imagine me with a wig on. But I think the braids are cute. Honestly, I think I did a pretty decent job. Now if we come in close, you'll notice probably a little more mess, but from afar, she looks really good. Like, you can't tell me this isn't Wednesday, you know? Hold on. I cannot believe I just did the Wednesday dance in 2025. That's how much I love you guys. Oh, I'm cringing at myself so badly. Okay, so one last story. Again, this is about my director. So, she's one of those people that when she gives notes during rehearsals, she gives it in a very particular way where she's very scatterbrained. And there was one rehearsal where she made a comment that was a little out there, and she didn't realize what she had said until after she had said it. If you guys know the plot of the Addams Family show, you know that Fester falls in love with the moon, and then during curtain call, he and the moon walk down with a little moon baby, and that was a prop that we needed to make, and we still hadn't made it during Tech Week. And so she turns to one of her advisees, because some of the people in the drama club were in her advisory, and she goes, "You and me, let's make a baby tomorrow." She shouldn't say that to your underage to your underage cast. Sometimes she has her moments, and oh, we love her. But that was probably one of the standout things from our show that we would quote. So yeah, that is my makeup tutorial for Wednesday and theater stories with Libs. Did I get it right? I think I got it right. But yeah, this was a super special show. It holds a very special place in my heart, if you can't tell. It is the side-by-side. Oh, I'll just put it there in editing. Let me know if you think I did well. I think I nailed it. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments if you enjoyed this kind of stuff. I'm about to sneeze. Let me know if you enjoyed this kind of content, if you enjoyed me doing my makeup, if you want more theater stories while I recreate looks. Up next, I am planning to do Les Miserables, but I also really want to recreate my makeup look from when I did A Midsummer Night's Dream. I played a fairy and I had like fun polka dots on my face and stuff. Yeah, just let me know what you'd like to see, what kind of stories you'd like to hear, and let me know if you want to see some new shows coming up, because I'm cast in 2 of them and I cannot wait to start getting going with it. I will see you real soon, and until then, bye. God bless.